Okay, class, welcome to Environmental Science. I'm Professor Pelham. To jump right into things, we'll be learning about invasive species today.
Just to clarify, what is an invasive species?
Good question. An invasive species is a type of animal that is not native to the ecosystem and is likely to cause harm. A good example of an invasive species is the brown tree snake. It's this type of snake that lives in the trees and preys upon shrews, small rodents, and kinds of birds. The brown tree snake is indigenous to Australia and Papua New Guinea.
So, when did the brown tree snakes come to be introduced into the ecosystem?
And how far has the species spread?
Well, sorry to interject, but the brown tree snake was introduced to Guam in the late 1940s to early 1950s, and they now inhabit the entire island.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So, a brown tree snake would not be an example of an autotroph, it would be a carnivore, correct?
Correct. Because the brown tree snake feeds on only animals and not plants, it'd be considered a carnivore.
What was the snake's impact on the ecosystem?
Well, when the brown tree snake was accidentally introduced into Guam by the US military, it caused the extinction of many of the large majority of the birds and lizard species on the island. Not only did it do this, but it took out most of the native pollinators, such as the bats, causing a decline of the native plant species.
It is interesting to learn about how it has had an overall effect on the ecosystem. However, I'm having trouble deciphering the role of the brown tree snake within a food web.
Well, Professor Pelham, I've created this food web to help show you.
Yes, as you can see from this very biodiverse food web, we are able to understand the predators of the brown tree snake and the prey of it. As you can see, the brown tree snake is preyed upon by the feral pig and monitor lizard, which is about the same size as a Komodo dragon. The brown tree snake also preys upon Guam rails, which is a kind of bird, rats, and the fruit bats of Guam. The problem with the Guam rail is now they are threatened in the environment and there are very few left.
Thank you for clarifying using the food web. I can better understand the biotic factors of the brown tree snake within the community, but I was just wondering the impact on our community. As Amy and I can understand, the snake has an impact on the ecosystem, but how does it impact our future if they were to become extinct? What would the brown tree snake's niche be in the community?
Well, if the brown tree snake is failed to be captured and killed, the brown tree snake will continue to eat the rodents and birds of the island and continue to take out the pollinators, so the plants will die, the animals will die, and the birds will die.
Lastly, are there any preventative measures we can take to reduce the negative impact of the brown tree snake?
Well, we can try and catch them by hand or by trapping them, or we can try fumigating or poisoning them.
Alright, class is dismissed. Thank you very much.